Hello kiddies, your Uncle Spurt here, and for the past week my SIM card has been thoroughly lodged inside of this here OPPO Reno 13 Pro 5G. Reno phones aren't exactly known for being the most glamorous or thrilling, but this thing has some proper trouser tent conjuring specs. It actually ain't too far off OPPO's Find X8 flagship, on paper at least, and yet it costs just £649 here in the UK. Almost the same as that god-awful iPhone 16e, spit spit spit. So should you save yourself a bit of extra booze money and grab yourself the Reno 13 Pro instead of a flagship, well, here's my in-depth review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, the Reno 13 Pro is once again another 6.8-inch smartphone, 6.83 inches to be precise, although it certainly doesn't feel quite as cumbersome and bulky as some rivals because those bezels have slimmed right down. They're some of the skinniest around. That screen is almost completely flat, but it does curve just ever so subtly on all four edges, which is quite en vogue at the moment. As you can see there, those metal edges pretty skinny, and you've got some nice rounded corner action as well. So the Reno 13 Pro, reasonably comfortable to clutch, even though it's a proper biggin. And I was slightly disappointed to see a complete lack of alert slider here on the Reno 13 Pro, something I hoped would be carried down from the Find X8 series. It's very handy if you just need a bit of private you time. Just ask your dad, he'll tell you all about it. And OPPO has slapped a matte glass back on this thing with quite a striking pattern when the light catches it in just the right way. And this was apparently inspired by a butterfly's wings, although to my eyes it kind of looks like someone's been having a bit too much of that private time, just haven't cleaned up properly. And apparently crafting that rear end is a 65-step process, according to OPPO, which is coincidentally exactly the number of steps in your Uncle Spurt's get ready in the morning routine. Though at least 24 of those steps involve simply crying in the shower or screaming at myself in the mirror. Whatever your thoughts on the design, it's certainly quite a unique finish, stands out against the crowd. I rather like it, and even if you're not a fan of this subtle plume purple shade as it's known, you can also grab the Reno 13 Pro in graphite grey. That sounds a little bit dull, frankly. As you can see, you've also got yourself a transparent camera bump wedged into the corner, which thankfully not too chonky, as you can see there. Although yes, you do still get an unfortunate bit of wobble if the phone is sat on a desk or table or whatever. Up front, you've got Gorilla Glass 7i, which I believe is the same Gorilla Glass used in the Find X8 series of flagships. And OPPO has very kindly slapped a pre-installed screen protector on that bad boy as well. So absolutely no scratches or scuffs to speak of so far anywhere on the Reno 13 Pro, despite a week of being in my possession, generally mistreated. And full IP69 water and dust resistance as well, so not only can it be fully submerged in water, it can also take a severe spurting. And if you dodge on into that there control center, you'll see you've got a speaker cleaner tool, which is pretty bloody handy if any water does infiltrate the speaker area. It's also got the makings of a classic techno hit. It's my Donald Trump dance. Now, unlike many flagships, sadly the Reno 13 Pro doesn't have an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. It is a more basic optical effort. This is fine as long as your hands aren't particularly moist or grubby or anything, in which case it does tend to struggle a wee bit. And the face unlock backup is usually fairly reliable as long as I'm not wearing sunglasses and the lighting isn't too dodgy. I do have a studio light behind me, so it's not liking that very much. But once you do persuade the OPPO Reno 13 Pro to unlock for you, you're then straight into good old ColorOS version 15. Now I'm shooting this review ahead of the official UK launch of the OPPO Reno 13 Pro, so I don't know exactly how many years of OS updates and general security patching it's going to receive, but the word is 3 years of OS upgrades and 4 years of security support. So certainly not as good as many flagships, but about what you'd expect from a mid-ranger, apart from obviously the likes of Samsung and Google do offer several more years for the likes of their Galaxy A56 and Pixel 9a. It's certainly good news on the storage front because you've got a whopping 512 gigs slapped here on the Reno 13 Pro, which is tons more than a lot of flagships offer, the likes of the Pixel 9, those iPhone 16s. I've been shooting loads of 4K video, downloading tons of massive buggers like Wuthering Waves, etc., and as you can see, barely made a dent. whereas with a lot of 128 gig flagships that have almost filled it up already. So it's no real biggie that there's sod all micro SD memory card support here. But what about that ColorOS experience? Well, I've got to start with a negative, unfortunately, because the Reno 13 Pro 5G is absolutely stacked full of crapware. It's been completely overtaken, in fact. It's gushing from every orifice. So much terrible stuff that you just do not want on here. All the usual offenders, of course, the likes of AliExpress. You can piss right off, mate. Booking.com, can absolutely bugger off.com. A million crap games and just other things, but I don't even know what it is. Flow? Don't think so, mate. I mean, frankly, I've been itching to get rid of all this stuff this entire week, but I've left it on there just so I could demonstrate how much crap was stuffed on this to begin with. I'm probably going to have to set aside a good hour or so to actually go through uninstalling it all. And that wee gripe aside, I really do like the ColorOS 15 experience here on the Reno 13 Pro. I've done a full in-depth video all about ColorOS 15, in fact. If you want to have a bit of a tour, check out some of the best features and other bits. But for instance, I really like the awesome dynamic lock screen, which then blends seamlessly into the desktops. And I just adore how buttery smooth everything feels, that the animations are so slick. And I mean, just contrast it with the 60Hz iPhone 16e, and it's like a whole other league on a completely different planet. I mean, shifting from this thing to this thing feels like upgrading from a clapped out 20-year-old Vauxhall Nova to a Lamborghini. And sure, I've seen a couple of wee bits of bulkiness from the Reno 13 Pro these past few days, but nothing I wouldn't expect from a pre-release smartphone. Nothing particularly catastrophic or anything, no massive crashes or anything like that. And of course, as is almost obligatory in 2025, this thing is absolutely drunk on AI. Got all the usual shenanigans, including, of course, a bit of circle to search, bit of the Geminis, and a few fairly standard but still pretty useful AI bits which can generally be accessed by yanking out the old edge bar, such as the ability to summarize any website, even in good old Google Chrome. And this generally works really well, picking out all of the major points and summarizing them in a bullet point fashion. You've got the usual AI writing tools which can reply to messages on your behalf if you can't be bothered to actually do it yourself and you don't mind sounding like a total git. But of course, far more useful is the old photo editing tools which you can access via the Photos app. The AI Razor tool is as excellent as ever and completely effortless. Super smart, just tap remove all basically and off they pop. And just works stupidly well every time. I swear it's some kind of voodoo. And some of the others are a bit more hit and miss, like the reflection remover tool, which as you can see there has mostly left the reflection in still. But overall it's pretty good stuff, and while Samsung has shoved lots of new features down people's throats in their latest Galaxy S25 series smartphones, most of them not really that useful in general everyday life, unlike a lot of the tools you'll find stuffed here on the Reno 13 Pro. Now that 6.83-inch AMOLED display that OPPO has slapped on the front end of this smartphone is undoubtedly another highlight. You've got some gorgeous contrast on this thing, HDR10 Plus streaming support in the likes of Netflix, and it really pumps out some gorgeous natural looking visuals. And speaking of, the screen color mode here on the Reno 13 Pro is set to natural by default. It's got quite light visuals overall, but you can make things a bit warmer and poppier by diving into those display settings and boosting things up to vivid, just having a bit of a play with the color temperature. And while this isn't one of the brightest panels that I've tested out in 2025, it's certainly bright enough that you won't be troubled too much by pesky sun glare outdoors, although this is coming from someone who lives in the UK. Which is currently, as I shoot this video, in full-on Silent Hill mode. Hopefully we'll see some sunshine again at some point in 2025. And you've got a 120Hz refresh rate as well, which only dips as low as 60Hz, but certainly keeps everything looking silky smooth, especially in ColorOS 15, which, as I banged on about earlier, is a gorgeous all-around experience. Now, the stereo speaker setup here on the Reno 13 Pro is perfectly respectable, slightly more weighted towards that bottom mounted speaker rather than the earpiece effort. Now, if you boost the volume all the way up, you enter ultra volume mode rather dramatically. Dodgy Tesla Powerball I had installed. Mythic Sun says, oh nice, they released the popcorn maker update. I don't think it's particularly ultra, to be fair, not any louder than any other mid-range smartphones that I've tested out around this sort of price point. Not perfectly crystal clear either, a little bit of distortion at times on that top volume, but yeah, it's perfectly fine for just kicking back with a bit of YouTube or whatever. As always, wouldn't actually listen to any music through it, just use Bluetooth headphones or whatever, which absolutely zero issues with the wireless streaming these past few days. As for the performance, well, you've got MediaTek's Dimensity 8350 crammed in here. Bit of a downgrade from the 9400 found on the Find X8 smartphones, but you've got decent enough 12 gigs of RAM in backup. And apparently OPPO worked alongside MediaTek to help customize and generally improve the efficiency of the 8350, especially when shooting video and when doing a good bit of gaming as well. Well, I thoroughly tested out the Reno 13 Pro 5G with a wee bit of Wuthering Waves. I did find it produced an almost perfect frame rate, even when I absolutely maxed out the graphics settings. I did spot a couple of tiny wee stumbles here and there when I was gaming for literally hours, so we are practically talking full-on flagship level here. I was certainly very impressed with what I saw. It exceeded my expectations. And you got a full-on bit of vapor chamber action and apparently some AI-powered cooling shenanigans involved. Whatever it actually is, it certainly works because the OPPO Reno 13 Pro only got a wee bit warm when having to deal with endless Wuthering Waves. And yes, I did make full use of the ColorOS gaming mode, which is as excellent as ever. You got that championship mode, which is ideal if you're dead serious about whatever you're playing. You want a total bit of immersion. And you've also got pretty much everything else you could possibly need in here, even weird stuff like voice changing, whatever. And bugger all other performance related issues to speak of as well. The connectivity absolutely solid here on the Reno 13 Pro, even in quite patchy areas around here. I've generally had at least 4G managed to get online in a fairly timely fashion. As for that battery life, well, it's a 5,800 mAh cell that's crammed into that skinny chassis, so bigger than the Find X8, I believe, and almost as big as the Pro model. And certainly a lot bigger than most of the mid-range mobiles out there that you can find right now in 2025. And let me tell you, the battery life on this thing has been absolutely stellar. With my usual bit of mixed use on here, around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, lots of messaging, bit of video streaming, etc, plenty of camera play as well, and a good bit of Spotify audio streaming when the screen is hibernating as well. I still tend to finish most days with around 35 to 40% battery life remaining. So an excellent effort all around for real life use. And what about the power efficiency when you're gaming, which is something OPPO specifically mentioned it worked with in collaboration with MediaTek? Well, great news again there. Even with the performance mode active, graphics absolutely maxed out and everything, I still found I got over 5 hours of gaming on Wuthering Waves from a single charge. To really wear this thing down, I had to shoot a lot of 4K video, do a lot of video chatting, or use it as a mobile hotspot as well. That drained the battery as fast as it would on a lot of other smartphones. But yeah, overall, absolutely cracking. And honestly, if you went a bit easy on this thing, you could easily get a full weekend of use from a single charge, no problem. If you do need to juice it up in a bit of a hurry as well, no worries there. You got 80 watt Super VOOC charge support, so bung a cable in it. Even if it's almost completely drained, you'll have a fully charged battery in around 50 minutes, as long as you're using a suitably beefy adapter, of course. But, and there is unfortunately a pretty big but, there is subtle wireless charging support here, which is something that a lot of flagship phones and a lot of mid-range smartphones these days do offer. So that is a bit of a shame. Wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. I'm not allergic to cables, but for some people that might be something that puts them right off. So hey, kiddies, let's finish this cracking OPPO Reno 13 Pro review with a squint at the old optics. And of course that camera tech, not quite as advanced as what you'd find on the likes of the Find X8 series, but pretty decent for a mid-range mobile. You've got yourself a 50 megapixel primary shooter with optical image stabilization, as well as another 50 meg sensor for the telephoto shooter, 3.5 times optical zoom. And last up, a pretty simple basic 8 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter. Got all the standard camera tools and features, including a bit of live photo action. Just helps to bring your photo gallery to life by capturing a wee bit of video before and after you hit that shutter button. You got all of the obligatory camera modes, including an underwater mode, which you don't actually see too often, and a bit of pro action, so you can play around with the likes of the shutter speed, the EV levels, white balance, etc. Although no love for RAW in there, you do get a bit of interval shooting. But just like Oppo's Find X8 phones before it, the true strength of this shooter is living subjects. Rivals like Samsung's Galaxy S25 blowers, the iPhone 16s, etc. usually fart out blurry, useless pics of more energetic, hyperactive subjects. But the Reno 13 Pro can once again capture beautifully crisp stills even when there's a fair bit of motion. And likewise, it's pretty bloody good for those portrait snaps, cleanly separating your subject from the background and smearing out all of the non-essential stuff with a pleasing bokeh style effect. And the OPPO Reno 13 Pro can also deal pretty well with strong contrast without oversaturating, blowing everything out like an iPhone or a Samsung will do. Colours are generally well represented as well, a bit warmer in more ambient conditions, and at night time I did see some lens flaring when there was some bright light involved, but thankfully the grain situation wasn't too bad. The Reno's telephoto shooter works well in daytime, offering sharper pics than what you'd get simply by cropping into your regular photos. You've also got some AI sharpening shenanigans to keep things manageable at the 10x zoom level, although probably don't bother pinching in much more than that. The Reno 13 Pro won't stop going until you hit 120x zoom, but well before that the image will look a bit melty. And also at night time that zoom is less effective, the picture quality gets kind of murky and fuzzy, so it's just best avoided if possible. And that 8MP ultra-wide angle shooter is there if you need it. Once again, it's a bit cack in low light, where you can also expect tonal accuracy to take a proper kick to the danglies, even when conditions are pretty good. And if you want to shoot a bit of home movie action, where you can record 4K resolution footage at up to 60 frames per second, and the results are quite similar to what you see on the Find X8 smartphones. Quite crisp, clean visuals of that Ultra HD resolution, stable looking footage as well, and zooming by flicking to the different sensors is a fairly smooth experience. You've also got a triple mic setup on here, plus an audio zoom feature, which can focus on whatever the camera is aimed at, and apparently block out other sounds. It does slightly muffle background noise like wind, waves, etc. Although I wouldn't say it has a massive effect. But while the Reno 13 Pro doesn't have the same ridiculously good noise cancellation as the Find X8 flagships, the audio capture is still nice and clear. And last up, around front, you've got yourself a 50 meg selfie shooter. Again, nice and crisp, bit too crisp in fact, but too much detail in general. You can capture up to 4K resolution footage at 60 frames per second. Again, pretty stable as well, which is impressive stuff. And that audio capture, again, nice and crisp and clear, even with a fair bit of background action going on. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is the fresh new OPPO Reno 13 Pro 5G. I've got to say, I really like this thing. It feels like a quality flagship phone through and through, but for less cash than what you pay for most rivals. The only missing feature that I'm slightly gutted about is the lack of wireless charging, which of course you will find on a lot of mid-rangers these days, never mind flagships. But if that's not a deal breaker for you, I'd absolutely say crack on and go for it. Got super slick performance, even for gaming, excellent battery life, some dependable camera tech, especially good if you've got family members, pets, etc. And you're sick of getting blurry, crappy shots of them all the time. Anyway, that's what this bald northern knobber reckons. Be great to hear your thoughts on the OPPO Reno 13 Pro 5G down below. Please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruzzy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you! Hello kitty, Shrunkle Spurt here, and for the past week my